Members indeed. How are you doing, gentlemen? Welcome.
We're doing very fine. It's nice to be back.
20 years plus now on the road.
20 years, yeah. Actually, it's 20 years since the first album in December, I think. That's pretty good, yeah.
And still hacking it and still giving it.
Yeah, still giving it some. In fact, we're giving it more now, aren't we? Yeah, we're getting better.
We've learned how to do it.
Yeah.
You've learned how to do it. 20 years rehearsal, you're on it now, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the only two original members are yourselves now in Saxon, the band.
Me and Paul, the original members. Bass player's now been in since 1987.
Oh,
so he's been there
new
quite
arrival.
a while. Yeah, and Douglas, the guitarist, a new guitarist, has been in what, 1994? No, 1995.
Okay.
So they've all been around a while.
Yeah, longer than I thought, actually.
Yeah, well, it's time flies by.
Exactly,
Yeah.
just like that. Flies by on the back of your eagle, or what is
That's
it?
right. Well, actually, the eagle is still there.
Well, they call it Biff's Budgie, it used to be called.
It used to be called, yeah. It's in a warehouse in Germany. A little bit battered, but it's hanging there. One day, maybe it will come out again.
Right. So, on the touring side, have you just left it there?
Well,
so I always thought it was like Eddie. Eddie was Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
The Eagle was always Saxon.
Yeah. Well, we are planning maybe to bring it out on the German tour coming up.
Germany's a big market for you guys.
It is. It is. I mean, everywhere now there's a massive resurgence in sort of specifically British metal. But anything that's sort of melodic bass now is really big. I mean, we played some massive festivals this year. We did Wacken Festival in Germany, 31,000 people.
Yeah.
It was, the spirit of the audience was fantastic.
I mean, people, I think in the UK, forget exactly, how big a market you still have.
Well, I think people generally in England forget how big, basically heavy rock, heavy metal is everywhere else apart from England. It's not very big in England at the moment.
It's strange, isn't it? But it's always very strange. It's always been that way. I mean, England is a very fashion-conscious country. It has a bit of a... It goes for that because it's fashionable, then chucks it out.
It's coming back, though. The resurgence is real strong. I mean, the Iron Maiden reunion is real strong.
Yeah, we saw them in Paris and in New York. They were fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting...
But again, I mean, we saw them in Paris, the Bercy, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Bercy, yeah.
Right, it's 19,000 people in there.
That's right.
Knew every single word of every single song and just went for it.
Yeah, there's a massive resurgence, and I think possibly England's going to be a little bit behind Europe this time, which is okay,
Sure.
But I put it down to a lot of the press, stopped writing about British bands, British metal bands anyway, and I think they could probably start again.
Okay, well, let's remind ourselves on video how you guys look. This is the track Denim and Leather. Well, do you still have the costume, Biff?
The trousers were particularly tight on that one, weren't they? They must be around somewhere, yeah. We haven't worn spandex for quite a long time. Yeah.
But people still always remember it.
Yeah, they
always
always
go
remember.
Saxon spandex.
That's right, yeah, they do.
They shouldn't. They should forget the spandex, go Saxon melodic rock.
That's right.
Because it really, I mean, melodic rock was your forte. Really.
It was, the heavy backing with the melodic vocal.
Yeah.
And still is, the new album is still pretty much the same, isn't it, really, Paul?
It's the dark angle of melody this time.
Yeah, it's a little bit darker, these albums. Our newer albums.
It's a little heavier, I think.
Well, a lot heavier. Yeah. It's probably the heaviest album we've ever made, and but it's more atmospheric. There are still classic sort of Saxon songs on there, but it's a mixture between the old classic metal and the more modern sound, really.
When you say more modern, you mean modern in like Pantera or like?
No, it's just the sound.
Okay.
We used a young German producer who did everything, so basically digital. And, it's just a mixture of, where we come from and where he comes from. So the sort of mixture...
You come from Barnsley, he comes from where?
Exactly, Hamburg.
Hamburg.
So there you go, Hamburg and Barnsley.
Good cocktail.
There's got to be a joke there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll try and work it out before the end of the interview. Talking to the new album, it looks like this. It's called Metalheads. I've got 5 copies to give away. So if you'd like to get hold of a copy of this, and we can get this one signed, and if we've got the other ones, we'll get them signed as well. Hold it still, okay. Sorry, I'm shaking because it's so heavy.
It is, yeah.
It's very heavy. So we've got 5 signed copies of this album to give away. All you have to do is to answer this question. What was the name of Saxon's first LP? What was the name of Saxon's first LP? And I stress LP, don't I?
Yeah, not CD,
Not
LP.
CD, LP.
Yeah, definitely.
Answer to the Friday Rock Show, VH1, 17 to 29 Hawley Crescent, London, NW18TT. Or on the email, tommy@segway.demon.co.uk. There you go. Good luck. And what about touring? There's going to be a bit of a tour, I'm sure.
Yeah, the tour starts...
The touring never stops for you guys in reality.
That's right. Yeah, we're always touring.
You're a road band.
This is part of a tour.
Exactly.
Everything's a tour.
Yeah.
When you're in our type of band, everything's a tour. It starts in Oslo, is it? Oslo,
Yes.
Oslo, the 3rd of November, and then we do about 15 shows in Sweden. Then we go down into Germany, and I think we finish somewhere in Berlin, maybe the 8th of December. Then we have Christmas off, and then we do Italy, Spain, Greece, and possibly put in some British shows then.
I hope you do.
We probably will, yeah. I mean, we definitely do some British shows, but we'd like to do a bigger tour.
Yeah.
You know, and do more places. And then we're off to America again, which is great, really.
I remember reading a press release or something somewhere that said your record companies were always trying to press you into an American vein.
Yeah, they were, but it didn't work.
No.
I mean, we're the biggest cult band in America there's ever been. You know, we play in America and...
Spelled with an N.
Pardon?
Spelled with an N.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, we did 2 tours of America last year,
yeah.
And some shows were sort of what 3,500 to 4,000 people. So we have a big hardcore following in America, pretty much like Judas Priest, really, and pretty much possibly like Iron Maiden. You know, the music there now is underground again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's cool. we were always the underdogs anyway, coming from the back. So we like that, you know. So we're quite happy, and we're not going to change into a more commercial band again. You know, we're going to stay heavy.
Stay the way what you do best, basically.
Basically, yeah. I mean, the chemistry of the band at the moment is really good again for writing, you know, for writing songs, which is where the most important thing is, really. And you know, Paul's guitar playing and the new guitarist, you know, they work well together, very well.
What do you remember about the original band, Son of a Bitch?
Whew.
That's going back some, isn't it?
Sleeping in the back of a transit, mostly.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest memory I think we had with Son of a Bitch was probably getting signed in what's 1978, something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And you know, every band that's sort of doing the pubs and the clubs and trying to write songs and be different, their main aim in life is to get a recording contract.
Sure. Once
you've got that thing, all the ball game completely changes. But that was the biggest memory.
I must point out that Biff had got it sussed that you don't send a tape, you always go with it and make sure they hear it.
Yeah.
Otherwise it gets recorded over, you know.
Because I remember you were originally signed to a French record label.
Well, yeah, all our biggest albums really in the 80s were on a French label. I mean, obviously distributed through a major company, but we were always out of the normal. You know, it was always a bit not quite straight down the line with Saxon.
Yeah.
We were never sort of, you know, the darlings of the press, really. We were always off the left hand somewhere, you know.
It's, I mean, different. I'm recollecting that now. It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I mean, you were part of what we all termed the new wave of British heavy metal, right? Nwabum, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was Nwabum, right? But you were always slightly different. You didn't follow the same formula.
No.
And I think that really worked in your favour.
It did work in our favour until everything changed with the new record company and new management, and they went more in a commercial way, which we're capable of doing. That was probably our biggest fault, really. We're capable of writing different styles of music, and we probably, you know, left behind our sort of more industrial, heavy background and went more towards a commercial thing. But lots of other bands did, and it wasn't really until 1990 we came back again, really. You know.
We were singles buyers, like a lot of kids were.
Yeah.
But you also did well. You did well with singles too. And singles, you know, you did Top of the Pops and...
Yeah, well, everybody did. Motorhead did,
Sure.
Judas Priest did, Whitesnake did, everybody did, Maiden.
Back in the good old days. But the good old days could come back again. But it'll only come back again if people like you keep plugging on, which you've always done, and that's what I've always admired you for, doing that.
We're flying the flag, you know.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Paul, nice to see you again. OK, let's watch this track now. This is Ride Like the Wind, Saxon.
Cykling på fredag